What's good, Commanders fans? So just a chill, light stream here, guys. I'm a little late here as far as recapping the draft and just going over grades and whatnot, stuff like that. Just want to get you guys' opinion on grades and just go over things myself as well. Shout out to Cody. He says hello. So only one person. So this is like an impromptu stream. I didn't announce it or post it before, so probably not a lot of people will be in the live. But I just wanted to get you guys' reaction and different things like that and react to the draft that just happened. Like I said, I am a little late. Go over a couple of the UDFAs. We can talk about some of the guys that they signed as undrafted free agents, guys that stood up to you that you guys liked. Some more people in the chat. We got 3 people in the chat. Rico Proctor, what's up, man? Jim D, what's up, man? Darnell Williams, what's going on? Anthony Lagrano, let's go. What's up, man? Kenneth, what's up, man? And Keyshawn, shout out to Keyshawn. What's up? What's up? What's up? So I'll do a couple. I'm not gonna do a lot of grades because I know everybody's opinion on grades. Grades are basically useless until you really see what they do 3 years from the draft. Now you look at some of Ron Rivera's drafts, and somebody posted the draft. It was like it was the one with I gotta look at that draft. I'm gonna pull the draft up, but it was a pretty underwhelming draft. It was like Jamin Davis, I think. Ben St. Juice might have been in the draft as well, and we should have got Darrell Green and stuff like that. There's guys that are not on the roster. Okay, Sam Cosme's in that draft, so that's not bad. Sam Cosme's been pretty good. Ben St. Juice has been okay. He had a down year last year, and Jamin Davis he's okay. He's solid. De'Ami Brown hasn't really amounted to anything. John Bates blocking tight end. Derek Forrest is solid. Cam Cheeseman cut, one of the worst draft picks I've ever seen in my life, trading up for a long snapper who can't even snap the football and got Trustway injured. William Bradley King. So my point is that, at the time, I think people graded that draft highly, but you got to see just how it is 3 years from now. So, of course, we got our guy, Jayden Daniels. Reggie Reg, what's up, man? That's my guy right there. Shout out to Reggie Reg. He had a birthday the other day. NFL Ransom, what's up, man? He says Mitchell Tinsley should get a real shot. I'm with you. It's just, after, and I'm gonna make a video about the wide receivers as well. I'll make a positional video before minicamp starts. Minicamp starts. They just released the dates for minicamp. Rookie minicamp is the 10th, so it's next weekend. Friday, I will be doing a rookie minicamp video like I always do. That usually does really, really well. People get excited about rookie minicamp, so I will be making a video about that. Darnell Williams, do you think Luke will thrive in a slot? That's a good question. Luke. I like the pick, but I don't love the pick. Troy Franklin was drafted like 2 picks after him. That's probably one of the questionable kind of. I'm not gonna say questionable pick, but him versus Troy Franklin, I think they're going to be compared to each other, throughout their careers. I don't think Troy Franklin is an elite receiver, but I think that's somebody that maybe I would have gone with over Luke. But I think Luke's a heck of a pick, man. I think he's a heck of a pick. Contested catch guy, slot guy, like you said, big slot. I think the thing is, Jahan. Are you going to put Jahan in the slot or Luke? I mean, you're going to move these guys around. Terry's good in the slot too. Terry's more of an outside guy, but he does well in the slot too. Jahan, is he better as a slot guy? Is Luke going to be replacing Curtis Samuel in the slot? He's a big slot, contested catch guy. Someone a yak guy too. He's a fast guy. He's got quick explosive bursts. He had the best cone shuttle drill out of all the wide receivers and had 13 touchdowns. Was really good in the red zone as well. 6'2", athletic. Had a nice 40, ran a faster 40-yard dash than his brother Christian McCaffrey. So I mean, he's an athlete. He used to be a quarterback. Used to be a running back. So he's an athlete. He's still somewhat learning the position a little bit too, refining his route running and whatnot. So I think it was a good pick. It was a little high, maybe, but he's just a guy that doesn't drop the football. He plays with a lot of swag too. A lot of swag. Talks a little bit of trash too. So I like Luke. But yeah, he probably will be our big slot. Terry's gonna be on the outside. And we're probably not going to get Ayuk this year, guys. I would love to get Brandon Ayuk, but I just don't see it happening this year. I would love to see it happen. But you never say never. You never say never. Who knows? If it's not this year, then I think Adam Peters should definitely make a big run at Brandon. Like I said, I'm not banging on the table for Ayuk, but it's just something you got to think about for sure. What's good, Ed? What's up, O'Hara? What's up, man? Jim D said, Ron's drafts were awful. Yeah, I mean, just alone trading up for a long snapper makes it really bad. Just trading up for a long snapper makes it really bad. But there's some other drafts like the Chase Young draft. I'll look that one up too real quick. It doesn't really matter because we're all moving on from that. But like if you look at that draft, Antonio Gibson was okay. He was fine. Chase Young just didn't work out. And then who else was in that draft too? But yeah, Chase Young, Gibson, Sadiq Charles was awful. Antonio Gandy going pretty bad. Keith Ishmael bad. Khaleke Hudson didn't really amount to anything. Cameron Crowe's the only one. So yeah, that draft was pretty darn bad. That was a bad draft. James Smith Williams, 7th round pick. So that's just my point. But yeah, Ron's drafts were underwhelming. They were. What's up, Juan? What's up, man? Shout out to Juan Gotti. I think he's back. He's finally back. He's making videos again. Welcome back. Shout out to Mace. And Juan Gotti's back, man. He's back. He said Jamin has no excuses this year. He has Bobby Wagner in the room. If he can't get it done this year, then he'll never figure it out. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and they're trying to make him think less. They want him to just rush the passer. They want him to be a blitzer. They don't want him to think. They don't want him to be a Mike linebacker. So they just want him to rush the passer and just not think too much. Just run, be fast, see ball, get ball, force a fumble, different things like that. They don't want him to think too much. They want Bobby Wagner to do a lot of the thinking, directing the defense, quarterbacking the defense. Same thing with Frankie. You got two defensive quarterbacks out there with Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner. So all he has to do is just track down the quarterback, track down the ball carrier, and just not think too much. So I think James in a perfect situation. His snaps may go down. We'll see. They got the guy Miles from the Steelers, Jordan McGee. Let's see if he gets snaps. Jordan McGee is an athletic freak. I want to say he had 20 tackles in one game. He's good in coverage. Jordan McGee may get some snaps. We'll see. I mean, I don't think his snaps will go down, but they just might actually. You never know, because we actually have depth at the linebacker position. It's not like we're relying on Cody Barton and David Mayo and guys like that. We actually have legitimate linebacker playing. So I'll start with Jayden Daniels. That's the guy that I wanted out of all the quarterbacks. I just wanted him from the start. Of course, you had the controversy with Topgolf, the emoji gate with the agent. His PR lady had to come out and say something. The speculation of him wanting to go to Oakland, preferring the Vikings. Diana Rossini came up with a story like the day of the draft or the day before, and he kind of answered questions nonchalant. But I like how when he came on stage, he was hyped. He was smiling, happy, did the Ric Flair woo, and it was just hyped and happy to be here and was happy. It seemed like he was happy to be drafted. He's done nothing. You look at his Instagram pictures, all his pictures, he's wearing a Commander's hat. He's wearing it backwards. He's been wearing nothing but a Commander's hat everywhere he goes. So all the speculation about him not wanting to be here, I think he's starting to put that to bed and deading all that. So that's what I like, just seeing his body language. He is the king of the slot fade. Adam Peters said he can take your soul on 3rd and 10 and run for 30, 40 yards. And we certainly seen him do that against Florida, against LSU. He's the first quarterback to pass for 300 yards and run for 200 plus yards in a game. He's the first quarterback to do that. That was against Florida, where he threw for 300 plus yards and ran for 200 plus yards on the ground. That's insane. That's Madden. That's NCAA. When was the last time the college football game came out? What, 2000 something? That's college football EA Sports video game numbers. Throwing the ball for 300 yards and run on the ground for 200 yards. Race for the Heisman, that mode that I used to play back in the day on the NCAA football game. That's the kind of stuff that Jayden Daniels was doing. King of the slot fade, catchable ball, throws a very catchable ball. When Dan Quinn said he was a game changer on the radio, I think that was telling to me, honestly. I think that kind of gave a hint that he really wanted him. And they said at the Topgolf, that's when they finally made their decision. I feel like they made the decision way before that anyway. But the Topgolf meeting, it kind of just showed they wanted to know about his durability. Can he stay upright? And he's done nothing but stay healthy in college. Knock on wood. Yes, he's taking Looney Tune hits where it looks like the coins pop out of him. The Ole Miss game where somebody just hits him and he flies and he just basically flies backwards. The Georgia game where they just pick him up and hold him and he's kind of laughing a little bit about it. So there's a lot of games and a lot of hits where you can point to where it does look like, he's lean and he has to put some weight on him. And it looks like he has bulked up a little bit, but he's never going to be like a ripped up, bulky kind of guy. That's just not him. And that kind of takes away from his running ability as well. But the fact that I think he's going to make Brian Robinson better. He's going to make Eckler better. The design runs, the zone reads, the RPOs. You're going to have to account for him as a runner. And he's a guy that can take 3rd and 10, like I said, take your soul on a 3rd and 10 and scamper up the field, man. So the catchable ball, the deep passing, the mechanics being consistent every time, that's huge. Does have to work on throwing over the middle of the field. Bill Belichick said he was, he's a tough, not Bill Belichick, Nick Saban. Nick Saban said some great things about Jayden Daniels too. We saw how Jayden Daniels cut up Alabama back-to-back years. So of course Nick Saban knows what it is. He knows what Jayden Daniels what he's really about, because both times they play LSU, Jayden Daniels had great games, both games. Bill Belichick had nothing but good things to say about Jayden Daniels as well. So, and some people have him rated as their number one. Dan Orlovsky, Lewis Riddick, they both have Jayden Daniels. They both rated Jayden Daniels as their number one quarterback. And there's reports, John Keim said that Adam Peters and the Commanders, they are only interested in Jayden Daniels and Jason McCarthy. I don't agree with that. But, if that is true, it is what it is. But I think we got a great pick. And for years to come, he's just got to stay upright. He's just got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing right there. He's got Terry McLaurin. He's got Jahan Dotson working the ball over the middle of the field. I think he does go through his progressions. But, is it just one progression in running or one progression? I'm going to hit Malik Neighbors or hit Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, or is it just going to be Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson? So, I mean, we'll see. He's got the tight end help now with Ben Sinnott, Zach Ertz. So I'm very excited for James. He's just electric. He's electric. He is electric, man. And he's a game changer for sure. And I do think his developmental, I think out of all the quarterbacks, I think he will develop faster just because he has that running element where it's just going to be hard to game plan for a guy like that. It just really is. It really is. When you have B-Rob and Eckler and weapons like that, Terry McLaurin, Jahan, and you have to account for him as a runner, it's just going to be tougher to game plan for him. So that's why I wanted Jay. Just the electricity, the potential, and the way he can just really, really change a game by using his legs. Black Rico 8+. Ahara Johnson says, Ed, do you think Brandon Coleman will start a left tackle? Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, man. Honestly, I'm going to make a video soon about potential free agents. And the left tackle spot is certainly it is concerning. It is concerning. It is. It's just a question mark. I just don't like the unknown. Cornelius Lucas to me is a backup. He's been a backup the whole time he's been here. Yes, he's spot started and done well, but he's on a playoff team. I think he's more of a swing tackle and not your day one starter. It is what it is on that. And I think he's a good player, a solid player, but I think he's a swing tackle. Brandon Coleman, solid player. He played guard at the Senior Bowl. He played guard, interchange, left tackle, guard at TCU. Had some really good games, allowed 0 sacks his senior year. Played pretty well in the championship game last year, held his own and whatnot in big games. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he's a left tackle or a guard, but I personally would bring another guy in here. I really would. You look at the Eagles, they've been aggressive. I'm not going to say it's going to work out with Mekhi Becton, but I do want to see Adam Peters be aggressive. I think he needs to be aggressive and bring somebody else in here. There's DJ Humphries, David Bakhtiari. And I know David Bakhtiari has been injured for the most part, so I'm not like banging on the table for him. But DJ Humphries, I know he was injured, so he may not be ready. There's another guy, I think his name's like Petrie or something like that. I forgot. He played for the Saints. He's a left tackle. So there's a couple guys out there. They didn't really go after Tyron Smith. That's somebody I thought they were going to go after. I think they should bring in a veteran, in my opinion, and you just need more depth. Because after those two is Trent Scott. So it is concerning, especially for a rookie quarterback, having these two guys battle it out at left tackle. It's just a lot of unproven guys at that spot, and it is concerning. We saw what happened to Sam Howell last year. I don't want that to happen. And Jaden's just more athletic, so that's the thing. So he's going to be able to get himself out of trouble. But I don't want him to be like, oh man, I gotta look over my shoulder, and after one read, I gotta go and just run. So I don't want that to happen to him in his rookie season. But to answer your question, yeah, they want Brandon Coleman to start a left tackle. They want him to do that. That's what they drafted him to be here to do. Adam Peters said that, so they want him to start a left tackle. And Legendary _1 said you can hide any deficiencies with schemes and play calling. The line wasn't that bad. Y'all are overdoing it. The only thing is that people said that last year. That's the thing. Everybody was like, oh, the line is not great, but Eric Bieniemy is going to be able to scheme around it and make us better and whatnot. And I was sold. I was like, okay, Eric Bieniemy's going to do this and that. He's going to make the line look better. And it looked the opposite. It looked awful. It was bad. Now, some of it's not his fault. Sam Howell did hold on to the ball very long, but the offensive line just wasn't good. Wiley was getting cooked. At times, what's his name? Nick Gates was getting cooked. So it was just talent. Sometimes you just need the talent, man. You need the Joes. You need the Joes in the offensive line. You need the talent. And the offensive line is not something to play with. We saw with the previous regime, they brought in Norwell, they brought in Trey Turner, guys like that at the end of their careers. It didn't work out. Nick Gates just bargain bin shopping on the offensive line. You have to attack the offensive line. First round picks, draft capital, money. You have to attack the offensive line. You look at the Niners with Adam Peters. What did they do? They traded for Trent Williams. So they made sure that they shored up the left side of the offensive line. So I need Adam Peters to do something like if Brandon Coleman's the guy, I'm fine. But if it doesn't work out this year, we'll see. There may be a learning curve, and that's just a part of the part of being a rookie. There may be a learning curve. So I mean, you just can't cheap out on the offensive line like we saw here in the last couple of years. You just can't do it. Shout out to KennyManDMV. That's my guy. He said, I think Luke might cook in a slot. Bro separates fast. Cone drill. They did a cone drill. The best cone drill in the draft, in the combine. Out of all the wide receivers, he had the best cone drill. He also, excuse me, had one of the best contested catch rates. He had 13 touchdowns on the season. He was a red zone machine, catching touchdowns. Doesn't drop passes at all. He had a 60.7% contested catch rate, higher than Marvin Harrison Jr. and higher than Malik Neighbors. 4.02 seconds short, subtle, fastest for his position. Former quarterback at Nebraska, 17 contested catches in 2023, which was second in all FBS. 2023 first team all AAC, and also a captain. So career high 13 receiving touchdowns in 2023, 6 among wide receivers as well. 4.4 40-yard dash, 9.44 relative athletic score, and also 6'2", 208 pounds. So I mean, he's a guy that can go up and get it. Very talented, man. Very talented. So I'm intrigued by the Luke McCaffrey pick. I really am. I'm intrigued with the Luke McCaffrey pick. He should start. He should be in the slot. He's not strictly a slot guy. He's a guy that you can do screens. You can do manufactured touches for this guy. Just get him the football and let him create. Get him the football and let him create. So it's going to be most likely day one's going to be Terry, Jahan, and Luke. And then after that, De'Ami Brown. Let's see if he makes the roster. Alamedi Zacchaeus. Let's see if he makes the roster. Jameson Crowder. A lot of people banging on the table for Mitchell Tinsley, guys like that. We'll see. So I do like the Luke McCaffrey pick. I do like the Luke McCaffrey. I like it. I'm fine with the pick. Troy Franklin, I think he's talented, but he's not like, I'm not like, oh man, we didn't get Troy Franklin. I'm not doing that. So that's like the only. I did like Brendan Rice. I did like Brendan Rice out of USC. He ended up getting drafted in the 7th round. So I guess the scouts did not like him at all. For whatever reason, Jerry Rice's son, another pedigree guy. Timothy Sindwell says Bernie Frost, man. I mean, I see so many people sleeping on the McCaffrey pick. I got onto his film back in February, and he gave me Puka Nacua vibes in the hard running of his brother, potential breakout player. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the quarterback. Can we get him the football that much? Because Matt Stafford was just force feeding Puka, force feeding him. Cooper Kupp was out. Cooper Kupp came back, and defense was really schemed up against Cooper Kupp, so that could open up opportunities for Luke McCaffrey. Teams are gonna try to take Terry McLaurin out of the game, so Christian McCaffrey could be an easy security blanket. He could be an easy security blanket over the middle of the field. So I like the Luke McCaffrey pick. A lot of athleticism, the pedigree with his dad Ed McCaffrey and his brother Christian McCaffrey. At the end of the day, a lot of that stuff doesn't really matter. I mean, you could have a talented dad. I mean, you look at Michael Jordan's sons. You look at LeBron James' son. He most likely will not get drafted, or if he does get drafted, he will be a 2nd-round pick. And LeBron James his son should not declare for the draft. So you guys get my point. Just because your dad is Ed McCaffrey and your brother's Christian McCaffrey doesn't always mean you're going to turn out to be a great player. So we've seen that happen with many guys before. So Thaddeus Moss. You know, his dad is Randy Moss. We had a father-son connection draft before. I think we had Jerry Rice's other son on the team before. So, I mean, you've seen that stuff. But, I mean, besides that point, I think Luke McCaffrey is a talented player, and I'm intrigued to see him on the roster for sure. KJ also says, everybody on the team make each other better. They are a unit, not a part. Yeah, I do want to talk about Johnny Newton too, man. I think he's talented. I think he's super talented. And some people were surprised that we picked a defensive tackle, but you look at the pass rush win rate, 15.4%. Just the technique, the hand usage, where he's just getting to the quarterback. And man, he looks like he's shot out of a cannon. Every time he's pass rushing, he looks like he's just shot out of a cannon. He's standing up, 3-tech, edge rusher sometimes. He's just a chess piece, man. And I'm intrigued to see how Dan Quinn uses him. Joe Witt Jr. uses him as a pass rusher. He was not supposed to drop that low. He did have the foot injury, but you just look at his numbers, his metrics, and everything he's done over the past 2 seasons. Well, he's the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, so All-American, all that. He just checks every box. Jerson Newton. So, and shout out to Adam Peters too, man. He did something in the draft like on day 3 where he has everybody in the room, all the scouts, they get to plead their case, called Commander Caucus. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing that he does, trying to get all his scouts involved so everybody can have an opinion in the room. I thought it was pretty cool. And we haven't really heard anything like that before. So John Dame says, hey, Ed, I believe the Commanders will sign David Bakhtiari or Back Reedy, former Green Bay Packer left tackle, will be a good move. Yeah, so David Bakhtiari is super talented, man. I mean, you look at his accolades playing with Aaron Rodgers. I just want to pull up his stats, like how many games he's played the past couple of years and just the injuries that he sustained. I mean, I was fine with bringing in Tyron Smith, and he had a long laundry list of injuries as well. Now, 2023, David Bakhtiari played in 1 game. 2022, he played in 11 games, so 11 out of 17 games. So he missed 6 games in 2022. He missed 16 games in 2023. And then, 2021, he missed 16 games. So he only played in 1 game in 2021 and missed 16 games. So he's missed a lot of games over the past 3 seasons. 2020, he played in 12 games, was a Pro Bowler. 2019 was a Pro Bowler, played in all 16 games. 2018, Pro Bowl season again, all Pro season. In 2020, in 2018, first team All Pro. 2020, he was All Pro as well. 2018, he was All Pro. Played in all 16 games. So ever since really 2019, 2020, he played in 12 games. So, I mean, I just want to feel comfortable with the left tackle spot right now. It's just a question mark, man. And anybody who questions it, you have a valid reason to question it. You do. I mean, I like Brandon Coleman. I like the pick. I like Cornelius Lucas, but protecting Jayden Daniels, I'm just concerned. I am concerned. I'm concerned. I'm a little concerned. I do think DJ Humphries, he's coming back from the injury. David Bakhtiari, I mean, he's probably going to come in for cheap. You look at the Eagles bringing in Mekhi Becton. That's not I'm not saying like Mekhi Becton's a great pick or a great signing. He's coming there to be a backup. He's going to the Eagles to be a backup. He's not even going to be starting for the Eagles. So they brought him in for 1 year, $5 million. So I will be talking about some of the tackles and some other positions that we can attack through free agency for the rest of the season. So we'll see if guys get released and whatnot, and some other guys become available. So we'll see what happens. Excuse me. Micah says Jeremy Chin at strong and Derek Forrest at free safety, or do you think Quan at free safety? Quan Martin, I mean, yeah, I would love to see him at free safety. I thought he played really, really well last year. I was intrigued by him. He played well at the cornerback spot too, because now we have depth at the cornerback position. I still think I would add another guy at the cornerback position. Honestly, if I were the Commanders, if I was Adam Peters, I would still take a look at some guys that are available. It's not a lot available. I like Stephon Gilmore is like the highest. He's probably like the best corner available. And like I said, I would not mind Stephon Gilmore. I know a lot of people are against it. He's getting older. He's slower. He got cooked in the playoff game. But he had a good season. He had a solid season. He really did. And I like Michael Davis from the Chargers. He had a down year last year. Emanuel Forbes, I don't know what to expect from him. Was it coaching? Was it scheme? Why was he underwhelming last year? Some of it was him, because you look at the Bears game against DJ Moore, he got dominated. AJ Brown dominated. He got dominated by AJ Brown both games. Out of position, trying to go for interceptions, not tackling well. So a lot of it was on Forbes. And I'm not going to make the excuse for Forbes and just say Jack Del Rio was bad, because some of it was Jack, some of it was Ron, and just overdrafting him. But he just didn't play well either. He didn't help his case. Ben St. Juste had a bad year last year too. So some of it could be scheme, some of it could be the coaching. But you brought in Michael Davis. You drafted Mike Sainristil, the slot corner, who had an elite year last year. 6 picks, two or three pick sixes, dominated the national championship game. Had Skip Bayless upset because we drafted him. Vocal leader, captain of the team. Just a dog. Everybody says he's a dog. Very physical, good in zone, good in man. There's some numbers that I have for Mike Sainristil as well. Just in the highest in every percentile. 99th percentile in the slot, 95th percentile in single coverage, 96th percentile versus a clean pocket. I'm talking about Mike Sainristil. 94th percentile when time to throw was over 3 seconds as well. So when they got protection, he's got to stick to his man. He's there. He's there in their hip pocket. Very physical corner. Plays bigger than his size. Not scared to tackle. Looking for work. The slot, and the thing is, for Mike Sainristil, it was going to be good because we don't have to force Ben St. Juste to play the slot. We don't have to force him in a spot where he's not. That's just not his best suit. He's just not. Ben St. Juste is not quick enough. His footwork is not quick. His feet are not quick enough to play in the slot. The change of direction that you need to have to play in the slot. We actually have a legitimate guy who's tailored for the slot position. He had 6 picks in 2023, second among all cornerbacks in college football. 6 picks last year. So he has a knack for getting to the football. Ball is life. Joe Witt Jr. says ball is life. And ball is life for Mike Sainristil. So he's a guy that can force turnovers and can stick with his guy in the slot. So we haven't really had like a legitimate slot corner in this roster in a little while. I think the last time we had one was Kendall Fuller, and we traded him. We brought him back, and he was different than what he was. He was more of an outside guy, more of like a safety, interchangeable safety. But day one, yeah, Jeremy Chin is a chess piece. You can play him at free, you can play him at safety, you can play him at linebacker. There were times where they lined him up as a pass rusher with the Panthers. Like, you look at his snap count, and he was just lined up all over the field. You just got to find a niche, a good place for Jeremy Chin to play. Now, with us, I think Derek was more of the free safety, and then Cam Curl last year was the Buffalo nickel, like more of a strong safety. So yeah, you probably will have Derek for us at free safety, and then Jeremy Chin will be more that hybrid linebacker. And Dan Quinn, he likes the guys like that. What's the guy from the Cowboys? Not Jordan Lewis, but what is that guy's name? And I can't remember. Like number I can't. Let me look at the Cowboys 2023 roster. But basically, that's who he compared him to. And I actually thought they were going to bring him into the guy that I'm thinking about. But I can't find this guy's name, man. It's not. Oh, man, I forgot the guy's name. I'm putting the Cowboys roster, but I think you guys know who I'm talking about. Who he uses as their Buffalo nickel, their hybrid linebacker safety last year, and he brought his name up in the press conference too. But I'm just blanking on the guy's name. It's not Jordan Lewis, but it's somebody else who was a free agent. And I really thought they were going to sign him in free agency, but I'm looking at their roster. I'll come back to it and see if I can find it. J-Ron Curse. That's what I'm talking about. J-Ron Curse. That's the guy's name. Reggie Reg says also we should sign another tackle. Yeah, I talked about that a lot, and we need another tackle. We need another tackle. DB says, thank you for the donation. Excuse me. He said he did not like the Ben Sinnott pick. There were better players available. Also did not like the trade with the Eagles. Why strengthen your rival? Yeah, I get that argument. Why strengthen your rival? But it's just business. Business is business. Sometimes you're just going to trade with the enemy. The Eagles and Cowboys traded a couple of years ago when the Cowboys got Micah Parsons and the Eagles got Devontae Smith. Like, they both made out pretty well. Like, I wouldn't be mad if I had traded and ended up with Devontae Smith. And obviously the Cowboys are not upset trading with the Eagles and they got Micah Parsons. So I don't think either team was upset about that. So sometimes you're going to trade with your rival as long as it's not allowing them to get a quarterback. That's the thing for me. I would never trade with the Eagles. If they were trying to trade up for a quarterback, and even if they gave us a king's ransom and a quarterback was available, then I would definitely think about it. I would definitely second think and be like, hey, I just can't. I can't. That's the only scenario where I would turn that down. Now, I am a little upset we didn't get Kool-Aid. I think us trading stopped us from getting Kool-Aid McKinstry. That's somebody that I wanted from Alabama. Excuse me. The only critique that I may have for Mike is that he's more tailored for a slot, and I think we do need an outside guy. We need both. We need a slot and an outside guy, but Kool-Aid is super physical. He's more of a press man corner, and I think we needed a guy on the outside, especially for like the CeeDee Lambs that we're going to CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown. Malik Neighbors got drafted by the Giants. So that's my only gripe, is just kind of passing up on Kool-Aid. Deshaun Cooper, at first I was like, oh, man, we let the Eagles get Deshaun, but, he's more of a safety. He's not really a corner. He can play corner. He's a chess piece, too. He can play linebacker, too. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to critique that trade, maybe you take that angle. I know some people were upset about not getting a tackle with the Newton pick or the Sainristil pick, but we ended up getting a tackle in the third round. And then the tackle spot was kind of awkward. We were not able to trade up and get a tackle. Amarius Mims went off the board. Tyler Guyton is super raw. He's with the Cowboys, so he's a developmental project guy. So we tried to trade up for Amarius Mims, most likely. We were not able to do that and get into the first round. Ben Sinnott, I have no problem with him. I'm actually looking at some of the tight ends that went after him. Like, Jatavion Sanders, who I did like. If you kind of want to nitpick the tight end pick, Jatavion Sanders went in the 4th round and pick 101. So he went like right after. So Luke McCaffrey went pick 100. And then, excuse me, the next pick is Jatavion Sanders. After that's Troy Franklin at pick 102. That's who I talked about earlier. And then Theo Johnson went 107 to the New York Giants. So Theo Johnson's a guy that I liked out of Penn State. I liked him a lot. Who else went at the tight end position after that? Eric All out of Iowa. I liked him too. I wasn't like super hyped on him. And then after that was like AJ Barner, Cade Stover. But yeah, I have no problem with Ben Sinnott. I really don't have a problem with him. He's a guy that can block. A big reason why we didn't take Jatavion is because the blocking concern. You look at the hockey clip, Ben Sinnott, you just see how much of a dog he is, how physical he is. A 40-inch vertical for a guy his size, his weight, his height and his weight to jump that high is just ridiculous, insane athleticism. RAS score, I guess we'll talk about that a little bit. Ross score, relative athletic score. He ranked 33 out of 1,141 tight ends from 1987 to 2024. I don't want to take too much stock in the Ross score because it doesn't always translate to a player becoming great. But he ran he had a 40-inch vertical. That's insane. 4.6 40-yard dash. That's really good. That was great by the Ross score. Shuttle drill 4.23 seconds. That was awesome. 3-cone drill 6.82 seconds. That's awesome as well. What else did he do that was really good? 87 PFF grade, which is first in the red zone among all tight ends, 9 catches, 6 touchdowns. In the red zone, 82.0, highest graded Big 12 tight end last season. Only tight end with a 75+ receiving and run block grade last season. Also, second PFF receiving grade, second in receiving yards among all tight ends, 4th in yards per route run. So it's not like he's just running small routes. He's actually running real legitimate routes. 3rd in missed tackles forced. How much have I been talking about a guy that can force a missed tackle like Logan Thomas? No disrespect to Logan Thomas, but he was not a yak guy. Just not a yak guy. He just didn't have it. He's not going to make anybody miss. Zach Ertz is more of a no yak Zach. That's what they call him, no yak Zach. He doesn't provide much after the catch. We just needed a young tight end that had talent, that can be a chain mover, and a guy that can really help Jayden Daniels out. And I think he's going to be a security blanket for him. He can play H-back, he can play fullback, tight end, line up in the slot, line up in the outside. There's just so many things that he can do. Adam Peters said he reminds him of Kyle Juszczyk, reminds him of George Kittle, so that's high praise there. But he's a guy that is not scared to put his nose to get dirty and block, and that's going to be huge. And he's forced. I'm looking at some of his highlights right now. Actually, I'm watching him against Oklahoma. He's just dragging guys. He's big boying guys. He's dragging guys, stiff arming guys. And he's not just getting a first down, but he's getting first downs and more. And he's going to be a great red zone threat. And I love Cole Turner, but we just haven't seen it. And tight end was a need. It was a need for sure. We needed a tight end. So I don't mind the pick. If he wanted to go with an offensive tackle at the time, let me see who else was there and available. The tackles at that time in round 3 that they could have taken other than Ben Sinnott. Let's see, 3rd round. Pulling up right here. So Brandon Coleman in the 3rd round. Excuse me. No, we got Ben Sinnott in the 2nd round. So let me see here. Ben Sinnott in the 2nd round. Tight end. Patrick Paul went right after Ben Sinnott at pick 55. So I think those 2 picks will be compared throughout their careers. If you want to gripe about them not getting an offensive tackle, maybe they should have taken Patrick Paul at pick 53. Patrick Paul was taken by the Dolphins at pick 55. So maybe you take Patrick Paul at 55, and then I'm going to look and see when a tight end was taken again, in the 3rd round, because we had the 3rd pick of the 3rd round. So let's say you flip, and Brandon Coleman, I'm looking at NFL.com, they actually have him listed as a guard. Like I said, in the Senior Bowl, he participated as a guard. Mel Kiper Jr. called him a guard. So a lot of people are calling him a guard. He played tackle in college. He did interchange. He moved spots. He has position flex. It's positional flex. But if you would have taken, let's say you take Patrick Paul, pick 53, and then in the 3rd round you could have taken. Whereas in the 3rd round you could have taken maybe. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of tight ends taken in the 3rd round. Let me see. When was Theo Johnson taken? Look at that real quick. I think Theo Johnson might have been taken in the second round by the Giants. I'm pulling this up real quick. I don't even see Theo Johnson anymore on here. Where is he at? No, I'm sorry. Theo Johnson was taken in the fourth round. He was taken in the fourth round. So I mean, maybe you flip, but like I said, I don't have a concern with that at all. Jatavion Sanders was taken in the fourth, but I'm just saying, like, if you would have taken Patrick Paul in the second, maybe Ben Sinnott might have fell to the third round. I don't think he would have. Maybe he would have been taken a little bit later in the second round, but who knows? So, I know DB, you have some you said some things that you don't like, and that's good. I like people being I don't want everybody to say A plus, A plus, A plus, A plus on every pick. There's definitely some critiques for this draft. And then, you got Dominique Hampton in the later rounds, you got Jordan McGee, you got John Baptiste, who I think is very talented. Dominique Hampton is a flying missile, just has to be in the right place at the right time. A lot of coverage busts here and there. So, it just has to really, really improve in communication and whatnot. Special teams guy, Baptiste probably will be playing special teams guy. Will probably be playing special teams as well. Jordan McGee is very talented. Like I said, 20 tackles in one game. Good pass rusher, good coverage. So let's see let's see if he gets some meaningful snaps as well. But I like the Sinnott pick, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with the Sinnott. I don't have a problem with it. And we'll see if they do use him as a fullback or H-back, just like Kyle Juszczyk as well. Let me see. 49 catches for 676 yards, 6 touchdowns. So the production is there. Career 5.8 yards after the catch, above 6.8 yards after the catch reception in 2 out of the 3 seasons that he played. 14 missed tackles on 49 receptions in 2023. So nothing but good numbers there from Ben Sinnott. Ben Sinnott. All right, let's get to some other comments here. Raymond Johnson said, "Place St. Juice PI." Pass interference, St. Juice. That's what you're saying. Yeah, that's kind of what he was. He was very grabby, very handsy. He was last year. DK Metcalf, he had a trouble guarding him, and it's DK Metcalf. So, and then Tyler Lockett. That Seahawks game was really, really bad for Ben St. Like Geno Smith, he was just picking on Ben St. Juice. He was. In that final drive of the game, they called a pass interference, and then they called a pass on him. And that kind of led to the end of the game right there. It was a winnable game too. It was a very winnable game against the Seahawks. Probably Sam Howell's best game, arguably, is other than the 2 Eagles games. That Seahawks game, that was probably Sam Howell's best game as an NFL player. That was probably his best game. Like he led us down the field, threw the ball to De'Ami Brown, touchdown pass, and then it was tied, and it was like, yeah, the defense is awful. So of course we're gonna lose this game. Of course we're gonna let them score. There's too much time on the clock. 1 minute left in the game. That was Sam Howell's best game in his career, in my opinion. The 2 Eagles games were really good. The overtime game where we lost, Sam Howell was excellent in that game. It doesn't matter. I'm just bringing up Sam because I do like Sam. And the Patriots game, Eagles game, and that game, the Seahawks game was probably his best game as a pro. And the Seahawks traded him for him. They saw it in person. So it makes sense. Beast Mode 2.0 says they probably made the Eagles trade because it was basically a back-to-back pick. I don't like trading back to pick a cornerback anyway when Kool-Aid and Cooper. That's my gripe a little bit. Kool-Aid, I was pretty high on Kool-Aid. I think Kool-Aid's very talented. And that's like my only gripe with doing that. But you did gain an extra second round pick, so that's cool. But I think passing up on Kool-Aid, they might regret that. They might look back at that and then regret a little bit. But getting Mike Sainristil is a heck of a pick, and Ben is a heck of a pick. Those are good picks. They're good players. They're good players, and they're going to play. They're going to get a lot of snaps this year. We're gonna need Ben to play a lot because you can't rely on Zach. You can't rely on Zach Ertz. Knock on wood. Hopefully he stays healthy. But passing up on Kool-Aid might be a little questionable. That's one thing I might give like a little ding or like just a question mark. I'm not going to bash Adam Peters over that, but I think it's a little questionable. I do want to see where Kool-Aid went again. And Adonai Mitchell, not drafting Adonai Mitchell because I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'd rather have Adonai than Luke, and I like Luke, but Adonai Mitchell is just a better player. He's just a better football player than Luke McCaffrey, and that's a fact. And he will be better in the league, but I could be wrong. I'm not always right. He could be. Luke could end up being better than Adonai. Adonai went pick 52 to the Colts in the second round, so he'll be playing with why am I so bad with names? Anthony Richardson. So can he get the ball to Adonai? He'll be playing next to Michael Pittman. So, I mean, I'm just a big Adonai fan. He can get open. Now, the thing about Adonai is he had some character concerns. Like his press conference, he was like he doesn't run routes 100% of the time. So that was like a big question mark with him. But I do think passing up on Adonai is that might be something we look back on and be like, dang, we should have taken Adonai because he's just so talented. Kool-Aid went pick 41 to the Saints. We had pick 36 where we got Jerzon, and then we had pick 40 and we traded back. So the Eagles take Cooper DeJean at pick 40, and then the Saints take Kool-Aid at pick 41. So it's like back-to-back corners that I would have liked to see us draft. I wanted Kool-Aid more than I wanted Cooper, personally, because Kool-Aid's just more of a natural corner, and I think he has the foot speed to keep up with guys a little bit more. Well, Kool-Aid's not the fastest guy in the world, but Cooper, I've seen Cooper get beat a couple times. Just because of the foot speed, but I think Kool-Aid would have been really, really good. I think Kool-Aid would have been what Joe Wood Jr. I think he would have fit this defense really, really, really well. So that's like the only concern I have is just passing up on Kool-Aid a little bit. Excuse me. Gary Phil says Mikey's better than Kool-Aid. We'll see. I mean. I like Mikey. I like both. I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at all that we ended up with Mikey, but I think Kool is very talented, and we'll see. Legendary underscore one said, "Oh, but it ain't is AJ Brown when it comes to Forbes, but it's DK Metcalf when it's St. Juice." I said it was DK Metcalf. I said that. I said it was DK. I said it was Tyler Lockett. Those are some of the best receivers in the league. Those are some of the best receivers in the league. So, I mean, they both went up against really good receivers. I just didn't think it was right for Jack Del Rio to put Emanuel Forbes on A.J. Brown because it's just a bad matchup. A.J. Brown's got, like 50 pounds on Emanuel Forbes. So, it was just a mismatch. But the fact that your first-round pick, you have to scheme him away from their number one wide receiver is concerning. So, can Joe Witt Jr. get the best out of Emanuel Forbes? I want to see what they do against the Eagles. I want to see what he does against A.J. Brown. Emanuel Forbes should circle that game on his calendar for sure. Both games, he's gonna be like, "Hey, how can I be better? How can I be better these next two games? How can I not let A.J. Brown put up 150 yards on me again and catch 2 touchdowns? How can I not let that happen? So Ben St. Juice, I just think he struggled last year. He did. She struggled. They both struggled. All our DBs struggled. It was all of them collectively. I don't think you can really point to one corner and be like they had a great season. Quan Martin had a great last 4 games of the season. Kendall Fuller was probably our best corner, and even him is not like he's an elite corner, but he was the best corner on the field. And last year, Cam Crow had a down year too. So like nobody really played well. So was it coaching? Was it the players? Miscommunication? We'll see. We'll see what Dan Quinn can cook up. Let's see what Joey Jr. can cook up. But I'm not going to blame Ron and Jack just for everything. I think some of the players didn't play well. Forbes didn't play well at points. He was really bad. He was unplayable to the point where they put Danny Johnson in the game. So, we'll see. I'm rooting for Forbes. I am. I'm rooting for Emanuel Forbes. I want to see him do well. Really, really want to see him do well. Beast Mode 2.0 says we need an outside cornerback. We already have one with Quan Martin. Yeah, I mean they brought in Michael Davis from the Chargers. They got Ben St. Juice as an outside guy, Emanuel Forbes as an outside guy. So we had a couple outside guys. They brought in James Pierre Jr. from the Steelers. We'll see if he plays. Noah Ignagabe from the Cowboys. He's more of a special teams guy. We'll see what happens with him. So they got corners. They got a lot of guys on the roster. So we'll see how these guys shake out. Freed Garden says Washington had the best draft in the NFC East. Yeah, we had a darn good draft. The Giants got Malik Neighbors, so I think they improved that way. They got Theo Johnson. They got some weapons. They are trying to move on from Daniel Jones. They wanted to trade up for J.J. McCarthy. So, I mean, I think they made some good moves. The Cowboys got Tyler Guyton in the first round. He's more of a project guy, so we'll see what happens. I know the Eagles got some late-round picks with Johnny Wilson at wide receiver, Anaya Smith out of Texas A&M. They're both super, super talented guys. So we'll see if those guys play, but they're going to be more, third or fourth, fifth receivers on the team. They already got two really good receivers. So I mean, the Eagles had a good draft. I know every year they get hyped up and oh man, we got Nakobe Dean and we got the Georgia guys and stuff like that. So every year, Howie Roseman gets all the praise and stuff like that for his drafts. Every single year, the Cowboys they always get bad grades for their drafts for the most part. Like I remember they drafted Tyler Smith. A lot of people gave him an F for that. This year, Tyler Guyton, they're getting questioned for that, getting an F. They brought back Zeke, so we'll see what happens with that. They just don't really have they're desperate at the running back position. And the Eagles got Cooper DeJean. I think that's a solid pick for them. They need a corner help badly. And like I said, they got the two receivers in the later rounds as well. So Cowboys also drafted Marshawn Nealon, edge out of Western Michigan. He's a good pass rusher too. So yeah, I think they all got some talented guys. So we'll see how the drafts shake out. But the biggest part was just getting a quarterback for us. I mean, that's just the most. I think we out of all four teams, we had the most important draft because we just need a quarterback, and the Giants need a quarterback too. If you want to judge by getting the most important position in the game, the Giants they wanted to trade up. They wanted Drake May. They wanted to trade up. They wanted to get a guy, and they weren't able to get a guy. And they're stuck with Daniel Jones for another year. I'm not going to talk too much trash about it. I always end up talking trash about Daniel Jones, but I can't because guess what? We always lose to the Giants. Tommy DeVito. It doesn't matter who it is. Tyrod Taylor. So, but who had the best draft in the NFC East? Yeah, I think we had a great draft. I think we had an excellent draft. Tim Farrell says, the best thing about drafting Daniels is we don't have to worry about signing Dak. Jerry Jones does not want him anymore. We have enough Cowboys. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the rumor is that the Cowboys are doing like a soft rebuild. Sorry, I had to get some H2O. But the Cowboys are doing a soft rebuild where they're not making any big money investments. They kind of want to rebuild. They just want to see how this year goes out. And if they don't win a playoff game like they did this year, they choke again and lose in the first round, lose at home, lose in Jerry World or whatever happens, then they're going to fire Mike McCarthy. They probably will move on from Dak. And that's what a lot of Cowboys beat reporters are saying. I don't want to talk about the Cowboys too much, but the word around town is that they're doing a soft rebuild. If it doesn't work out, they don't want to invest too much money. And it's not like they throw a lot of money out there anyway on free agents and making big time trades and whatnot. They rarely do that. They bargain bin shop in free agency. Now they did sign Stephon Gilmore. They got Brandon Cooks last year. So they did make some moves. They were more aggressive than what they usually do last year. And I think last year might have been the year where they were like, they're going to try to go all in. They let Tony Pollard walk. They're signing Zeke on a bargain bin contract. Excuse me. They're still paying him from his previous contract. They let Tyron Smith has moved on. And, they're kind of running it back a little bit, Leighton Vander Esch is retired. Not like he was like a huge impact guy, but he was solid. And, Stephon Gilmore, they're not bringing him back. Of course, Trayvon Diggs is going to be healthy, and Deron Bland is going to be healthy, Michael Parsons. And, I think this is it. This probably is their last hurrah. This is probably their last. This is probably it. And they probably will lose in the first round again. They may win one playoff game, but other than that, they're still not better than the Niners. Just look at the NFC. There's a couple teams that you can be like, hey, they're just better than the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys, they probably will end up like going 11-6, 12-5. Like that always happens. But when it comes to playoff time, they're just choking. So I mean, we already know what's going to happen with them. But yeah, I think the word around town is that they're going to do a soft rebuild and start it over. Yeah, the Lions are better than them. The Niners are better than them. The Rams are better than them. I'm just looking at some of the teams. The Eagles, I think they're probably even. But the Lions are better than them. The Packers are obviously better than them. They just beat them. So Lions, I'm naming at least 4 or 5 teams. I would take the Buccaneers over them too. I think the Buccaneers are going to be good again this year. But all right, moving on from them. Mars says that y'all care about is having the best draft class. Your ex grandpappy says, "What's up, man?" He says, "Hey, what up, big dog? I've been curious. 49ers, Adam Peters and company have been especially good at finding all pro type guys in later rounds. Who from this class do you think has that kind of potential?" That's a good question, man. That's a good question. Johnny Newton possibly, but he's a second round pick, so technically he's not in the later rounds. That's a good question, man. Jordan McGee, we'll see what happens because you saw what happened with Fred Warner with the Niners, so he did a great job with that. But technically, if you want to go later rounds, that's a good question because Ben Sinnott is a second round pick, and Mike Sainristil, they're both second round picks. So right now, I don't see all pro potential. Is hard to say, but I do like Johnny Newton. Oh, also, what I didn't say about Johnny Newton, Jerzon Newton, we're going to call him Jerzon. He had 4 block kicks in his college career. You know how insane that is? Like, look at his explosiveness, his first step. That shows me how explosive he is and how quick his first step is. I got to look at the highlights and see how he blocked these kicks. But that's super, super intriguing to me, man. It really is. That's super intriguing. Special teams. He's not going to play much special teams here. I mean, you probably should put him out there to block a field goal or whatever. I might throw him out there to do that a couple times. You just never know. We might be up 30-27. You just need a block kick. Just put your best player out there. I mean, we did the same thing with Sean Taylor, rest in peace, on special teams. So why not do it with Johnny Newton? See if he can block a kick and pick it up, scoop the ball up and run around and get us a field goal range, something like that. You just never know. But yeah, I mean, if I had to pick a guy, maybe Mikey Sainristil just as a slot corner. Maybe he could be a legitimate Pro Bowler at the slot corner. Everybody's saying 2 years from now, he probably will be the best slot corner. That's what the national media is saying. The national pundits talking about Mike Sainristil. He potentially could do that. And then if Ben Sinnott has any type of Chris Cooley in his game, we'll see there. Like I said, I don't know about all pro, but I could definitely see Pro Bowl potential from a lot of guys from this draft. And then I do like Jordan McGee. I think he's talented for sure. Luke McCaffrey, I don't see all pro personally. I think he's just going to be a solid player. And if he's just a solid player, it gives you 50, 60 catches a year and 5 or 6 touchdowns. And I think that's really good for him for a third round guy. I mean, you look at the third round guy, we got Diami. He's giving you 20 catches and 200 yards, if that. So if we can get a pulse from our third receiver this year, Curtis Samuel did a great job being a number 3 guy. But yeah, I personally, I don't see all pro right now. Brandon Coleman is a wait and see approach. Is he a tackle? Is he a guard? A lot of question marks with him. And you just got to wait and see with some of these guys. So hopefully the all pro that we really have in this draft is obviously Jayden Daniels. But from the later rounds to answer your question, I probably go with Mike. But once again, he's a second round pick. Let's see here. We did Sam Houston wrong. I think we helped him out by trading him to the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks will do him. Will be just fine with him. But I guess if you mean like Eric Bieniemy dropping him back 100 times, then sure. Yeah, I could agree with you on that. And just the offensive line construction by Ron Rivera, yeah, I could agree with that. Oh, Tim Farrell says, happy for Darrell Green, the greatest player to ever wear a Washington sweater. I feel congrats to him. Finally retiring a number. I mean, we had so many times where I remember Joe Theismann was upset about number 7 being worn and other numbers like that. I think Troy Apke won. Did Troy Apke wear number 30? And B. Mitch might have said, he wore number 30. And I think B. Mitch might have had something to say about that too. And maybe, they should have just retired that number. Maybe they will. Well, B. Mitch, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's not been chosen for the Hall of Fame, but B. Mitch is a guy, Brian Mitchell. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, but it is what it is on that. And then Troy Apke wore 30. B. Mitch came out and said he's happy that a player that he feels like deserves to wear number 30 and Austin Eckler is wearing number 30. So 28, that never should have been worn. That definitely should have been retired a little while ago, but that's good. Hopefully they do Darrell Green. Hopefully they have a good ceremony for him. Hopefully they don't spell his name wrong like they did with London Fletcher or Flechter, but this is a different regime. And if they do a statue for Darrell Green, I hope it's an actual like legitimate statue. Give me a second, guys. This is my allergies. Yeah, Darrell Green. Getting back to him, I hope they give him a legitimate statue. Sean Taylor, rest in peace. They gave him a statue, and his daughter was happy about it. She was fine with it. The report is that she kind of wanted the statue. Like I don't know the 100% the truth about it, but I hope if they give Darrell Green a statue, I hope it's kind of like the Ray Lewis statue that Ray Lewis has. I live in Baltimore. I've seen it many times. You guys seen it on TV where it's a huge statue, and I think Darrell Green. I think he's a guy that is one of the guys that may deserve something like that around the stadium, or maybe around the new stadium, RFK. If it's at the RFK site, maybe they can start giving guys statues from some of the Super Bowl teams that we've had. Joe Gibbs, give him a statue and whatnot outside the stadium, something like that. So that's just something to think about. But yeah, this is a good time. It's about time to retire this jersey. So that's good to see. And like I said, we've had former players go back and forth with current players getting their jersey number and whatnot because it's not retired. So it's good to see that. Congrats to Darrell Green for sure. And Darrell Green, I think he does some stuff at Mary Washington University. He's still in the area. Does a lot of things in the community and stuff like that. So shout out to Darrell Green, the fastest man in the world at the time. The Erico Show says, I disagree with DB. I like the Sinnott pick. I think he will turn out to be a very good pick, and the Eagles trade was good. We got more picks and got more depth. So yeah, we basically swapped picks and moved up. We moved back in the second round. We basically swapped picks and moved back in the second round. They moved up, and I want to say we moved up in the third round. I gotta look at the picks again, but yeah, I mean, like I said, Kool-Aid is questionable in my opinion. That's like the only thing. If you want to nitpick and say something, and because I'm not just going to sit here and say it was a perfect draft, but that's something to look at. Adonai Mitchell is something to look at too. I'll be closely looking at Adonai's career. I'll be closely looking at Kool-Aid's career. Those are just some guys that we could have got. Troy Franklin is a guy I'm going to be looking at for sure. Patrick Paul is a guy we'll be following and be like, hey, people would be like, oh man, you could have got Patrick Paul. You could have got Adonai. You could have got Kool-Aid, and this and that. So that will always be brought up with every draft. It's not just this draft. So it's just something to keep an eye on for sure. Tim Farrell said our DBs suffer without a pass rush. They do. Our pass rush, I'm intrigued to see how it is. And also about Jerzon Newton. Deron Payne, John Allen, they never got breaks. Fedarian Mathis was unreliable. John Ridgeway was okay. He's fine. Efe Obada, okay. He's fine. Who else played defensive tackle for us? And that was about it. Efe Obada, John Ridgeway, that was more the rotational guys that we had. Fedarian Mathis, like I said, couldn't really rely on him to stay healthy for the most part. When he was out there, he didn't do much either. He's still in the roster. He might be a bubble roster guy. He might be a guy that might be a surprise cut. I'm not going to make a surprise cut video just yet. It's a little too early. But for the 53-man roster. But keep an eye on Fedarian Mathis. He might be released. You never know. But my point is that John Allen, Deron Payne, they played a lot of snaps. They played a lot of snaps compared to a lot of defensive tackles, just to a lot of defensive linemen in general in the league. Like, they played a lot of snaps. Ron Rivera had them playing a lot of snaps. And you could tell sometimes those guys were gassed. So when you have a guy like Johnny Newton who plays with so much energy and plays a lot of snaps as well, and just the versatility as well, Jerzon Newton, 95.1 grade, best by an FBS defender all season. 8 pressures, 28.6 pressure rate. This is in one game against Wisconsin. 8 pressures in one game, 2 sacks, 34.5% pass rush win rate that game. And a lot of people had him as a top 10 pick. This is a tweet from October 22nd. This guy said defensive tackle number 1, top 10 pick. So there was a time where some people had him in their top 10. And he ended up falling all the way to pick 30 something. We got him there. So I mean, he might be the steal of the draft. Oh, so yeah, this is a stat right here. So PFF charted Johnny Newton with 749 snaps on the season. For comparison's sake, Byron Murphy II played 2 extra games on the season and had 438 total snaps. Johnny Newton's conditioning is absolutely insane. So talking about conditioning and keeping guys fresh, this is a guy that can help keep John Allen fresh. He keep Deron Payne fresh. When they go out, it's not much of a drop-off. You have a guy that can stand up and pass rush, be a 3-tech defensive tackle, a guy that can play on the edge, a chess piece. So that interior pressure, man, is going to be great all game, all game. The worst kind of pressure a quarterback can go against is interior pressure. So you have a legitimate pass rusher in Daron Payne. Johnny Newton, Jerzon Newton had 7.5, 8.5 sacks last year. A lot of pressures, 40 plus pressures last year as well. And can stop the run too. A little undersized, but he can stop the run. Pass rushing technician, hand movement, hand usage, counter moves, double moves, all kinds of moves. You're going to see that. And it's going to be fun to watch his bag. He's got a bag of tricks. He's got a tool of tricks. So Jerzon Newton is a guy I'm excited to see him play. I'm excited to see him play. He's going to play a lot. And, and another thing is if John Allen goes on his rants, those after we lose or go on a loser streak, John Allen, we already know he's going to go on a rant. He's going to say, I'm tired of this. He might go on the radio and be like, oh, yeah, I thought about being traded. So maybe he's more expendable if Jerzon Newton's showing out and John Allen's not happy because we're a young rebuilding team or a team and we're not even like super young, honestly, because all the Cowboys guys are they're veterans for the most part. Cleveland Farrell's been in the league for a while from the Niners. Dorrance Armstrong's been in the league for a while. Dante Fowler's been in the league forever. Who else? John Allen, Daron Payne, they've been in the league for a while. So we got a lot of veterans on the team. So we're not as young as we think we are, or maybe people may say we are. Bobby Wagner, the last chapter of his career. And Frankie Louvu is a veteran. Jamin Davis has been in the league for a while. Ben St. Jude has been in the league for a while. Derek Forbes has been in the league for a couple of years. Jeremy Chin is on his 4th, 5th season. So we got a lot of veterans on the defense for sure. And then offensively, it's a mix of guys too. But yeah, Jerzon Newton for sure. Free Garden says Roger Goodell too politically correct to say skins or Redskins. I'll say it, skins. Instead, he said, well, I got some Redskins stuff over here actually too. I love this. Oh my gosh. I'm so upset. And I can still wear this. I gotta find a Commanders version of this because this was probably like my favorite command or skins gear. This thing right here. This was like the throwback. I almost said throwback, like Maybach. But this is like the throwback Nike joint. This was the homecoming game, the throwback game. This is what they wore. Like this is the colors. But this is like a really nice, like windbreaker, whatever you call it, kind of jacket. Like this is just, I love this. I love Nike. Nike is my favorite brand. Like I wear nothing but Nike, of course. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite stuff right here, skin stuff. And of course, I got an old RG3 jersey, real jersey, stitch numbers, all that good stuff. I got this out of Marshalls though. But yeah, that was like this is my favorite like skins gear right here. And this is like a random skins. This is not even like the natural colors of the skins. Like that was my favorite. But I stopped really wearing it when they changed the name. I really wore like a lot of skin stuff. Since then, I've just been strictly wearing Commanders stuff. I got a bunch of Commander stuff now, but that was like my favorite skins gear right there. But to get back to your statement, free Roger Goodell. Instead, he said Washington organization went for Darrell Green. Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to that. Honestly, I'm just laser focused on what we're doing right now, what we got going on right now. That's just the name stuff. I moved on. Everybody can say their opinion on it. It's whatever you guys feel on it, honestly. So I'm not caught up on it too much. Shout out to my guy Bless Shot Sports, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel, man. He's got a great YouTube channel. He's been doing YouTube content for years, man. He's been doing great YouTube content for years. So you guys got to check him out for sure. He says, what up, Ed? I love this all season. I love this all season. So I like it a lot too, man. I like it a lot. The only thing I'm going to say is just left tackle is a question mark. We'll see what they do there. But I love the Jayden Daniels pick. I love the I like the pick of Dorrance Armstrong. He's a great pass rusher. I like Dante Fowler. He brings some juice. And Luke McCaffrey, the draft pick, is a solid pick. Ben Sinnott's a good draft pick. Mike Sainristil is just a dog. We got some dogs. Johnny Newton's a dog. And I think they made some good picks. Also, Eckler. Eckler is a guy that I'm very interested in too, man. I want to see how he plays. I think him, and he's going to bring a change of pace. I think he's going to be a good pickup. I'm not going to get too hyped up about him because he's another guy on kind of like on the last leg of the last hurrah, the last chapter of his career. So he's older. So he's not the Austin Eckler of 2018, 19. But he is kind of like what we wanted Antonio Gibson to be, where he can be a legitimate receiver in this Cliff Kingsbury offense. He can be a legit receiver. He can go out wide. He can play in the slot. So there's going to be so many ways you can use Austin Eckler. B-Rob and Eckler, they're going to be a nasty duo, thunder and lightning. So you want to change the pace, switch it up. That's going to be great. And then you got Jayden Daniels, who's like another runner out there too. So I'm intrigued to see what Cliff Kingsbury can do. Using Jaden's legs to put pressure on the defense, and just you got two good running backs back there. So Austin Eckler was a good pickup. Only meaning because Zacchaeus is, we'll see if he makes that roster. Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, I haven't even talked about them much, but yeah, to have a leader on the defense, a guy who's going to rack up 100 tackles. I know tackles are not the end all be all, but just a quarterback on the defense, a leader. Like Bobby Wagner is going to make this team better. Frankie Louvu, like teammates have already talked about how much of a leader, how much of a dog he is in an offseason workout. So Frankie Louvu is going to be awesome. He's a guy that can cover too. Bobby Wagner is not going to cover much, but he can move and get stops too. Let me see. The Celtics are getting blown. The Celtics are blowing the heat out. Let me see what the score is. I'm sorry, real quick. I put a wager on that game. Just want to see what the score is real quick. How much Tatum put up. 107 to 103. Then I get back. I will be doing Wizards content, guys. So just be prepared for that. If I do like a random Wizards stream, just be prepared or something like that. I know some people don't really give a crap about the Wizards, but I'm gonna start doing more Wizards content on my own channel. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for that, guys. Just giving you guys a heads up. Yeah, I mean the offseason has been fine for me. It's been good. Just left tackle was the only thing. Tyler Biotic, I think that's a great pickup. Former Pro Bowler. I think he's a good pickup at center. He's probably the best center that we had over the past couple seasons. Sam Cosmi, right guard. Wiley still on the roster. See what happens with that. And our Gaddy we got from the Chiefs hasn't had a lot of starts. So really the whole left side of the offensive line is just a question mark to me. It's a question mark, and we'll see if we can get consistency from those guys and any depth from those guys. Brandon Coleman, man, if they have like Lucas, well, we'll see what Coleman shakes out to be. We'll see what he shakes out to be. But the left tackle and left guard position are something to keep an eye on for sure. But yeah, I think we got better at the defensive tackle spot. Johnny New's going to push guys, make guys better, and Mike Sainristil, we got a legitimate slot corner, just something we haven't had at that position in a while. And then you got Jayden Daniels, a game changer, who's going to take people's souls on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, and run for a first down. Different things like that. And not just that, but drop the ball in the bucket of Terry McLaurin. Slot fade king. You got to give your guys a chance. You got to give your guy a chance. You got to give Terry a chance. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm really looking at the connection between Jayden and Terry, because Sam and Terry didn't really have a great connection. They just didn't. They just keep it 100. I want to see how Jayden and Terry connect. Can they be on the same page? Can he give Terry those chances? Because for Terry to be the best player, to get the best out of Terry, you got to give him contested chance. You got to give him contested chances. You got to give him contested catch chances and opportunities. That's just who he is. When Jacoby came in the second half, that's what he did. Against the Jets, he just gave Terry a chance. You're just going to have to trust Terry. It may not look pretty, but Terry's going to come down when you saw what he did to Stephon Gilmore. You saw what he did to Jair Alexander. You just got to give Terry a chance. And is Jayden Daniels going to be capable of doing that? That's what I want to see from Jayden Daniels. Can he give Terry chances? That's what he's got to do. Roger Goodell. Beast Boy 200 says, I just wanted somebody that can guard AJ Brown. We still don't have anybody who can. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to match up with AJ Brown. It's hard to match up with AJ Brown. And I think Kool-Aid would have been a guy that would have been capable of doing that. But, Mike's going to be in the slot. We'll see what Ben St. Juice does this year. We'll see what Emanuel Forbes does this year. We'll see what Michael Davis does. Can Michael Davis step in and do that? Can he step in and do that and be physical and match up with AJ? So, I mean, that's the question mark right there. Joe has got a plan. Dan Quinn's got a plan. So we'll see what happens with those guys. Stephon Gilmore did a good job against AJ Brown in that one game. He did a really good job. He did a good job against AJ Brown. That's why I'm a little like, hey, Stephon Gilmore, I wouldn't mind bringing him in. I really wouldn't. I know a lot of people are against it because he's older and he's slowing down every year, but I wouldn't mind it. I really wouldn't mind it at all. Mara says I know Tyler Garden's very raw. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say he still doesn't really know how to really play the game of football. So we'll see how that shakes out in Dallas. Mar says no, and we want Drake May. I don't know who we is, but it certainly wasn't me. It certainly wasn't Adam Peters, and it certainly wasn't Dan Quinn. So all those guys did not want Drake May. They did not want Drake May. Me said, hold on 1 second. Somebody has a McNabb. Tim Farrell says, I have an official McNabb skins jersey. As soon as Daniels makes number 5, it's officially his. Off comes McNabb's name. I also don't puke an official Albert Hayes sweater. That is hilarious. That's hilarious. And the thing about number 5 is he's not going to get it because Tressway may keep it. Now he may take it from Tressway. Tressway may be like, hey, you gotta pay me for the jersey and whatnot. So there were a couple of teams announced jersey numbers, if I'm not mistaken. They're supposed to do that very, very soon. Rookie minicamp is next week. May 10th is the start date of rookie minicamp. So they're supposed to have some numbers for the minicamp. So at least they can have a number on their jersey. So we'll see when that happens. Let's see if Jayden Daniels signs his contract soon, too. I'm sure to see if that happens, too. I think that should happen pretty quickly, but who knows? Especially with his agent. His agent is an odd guy for sure, or just can't read the room, or just is unaware that people will see his likes and unaware that people see his emojis and whatnot. So we'll see. Hopefully there's no funny business with Jayden Daniels' agent and the contract negotiations and whatnot. Hopefully it's, not a long time where it takes him forever to sign a contract. He signs it like right before training. Hopefully he signs it like as soon as possible. And we move on in that direction. But Green Manilishi says the Heisman winner and number 2 pick is Marcus Mariota. Yeah, number 2 picks have been tricky in the past. Robert Griffin, RG3, was the number 2 pick of the draft. So, we've seen how number 2 picks of the draft have shaken out, and Marcus Mariota had some success in the NFL. He had some success. CJ Stroud was the 2nd pick of the draft. Aiden Hutchinson, 2nd pick of the draft. He's turned out pretty well. Zach Wilson, awful, 2nd pick of the draft. Chase Young, 2nd pick of the draft. Just didn't turn out to match the hype. Nick Bosa, 2nd pick of the draft, has been very good. Saquon Barkley, 2nd pick of the draft, very good. Mitchell Trubisky, 2nd pick of the draft, awful. Carson Wentz, 2nd pick of the draft, really good with the Eagles, and then tailed off. And Marcus Mariota was the 2nd pick of the draft, and he went to the playoffs. He won a playoff game. So I'm not gonna say he's a failure in the NFL. Kind of for where he was picked, but he did make it to the playoffs and win a playoff game. And then Robert Griffin III was the 2nd pick of the draft, and he was the offensive rookie of the year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the number 2 pick of the draft, Jayden Daniels. I'm pretty confident that he's gonna have a good career, a long career. He's just got to stay upright and stay healthy. Those are one of the question marks for sure. Greg Pett says, we're proudly who cares? We're the Washington Redskins family F. Political correctness. Yeah, like I said, I just have so much Commanders gear. I just wear my Commanders gear now. That's just what I have. I have 5, 6 t-shirts. I got a Terry McLaurin jersey now. I got a Chase Young Washington football jersey. So I just have so much gear now. It's just to the point where that's just what I wear now. I got a Commanders hat. I got the Commanders bucket hat. I got 2. How many Washington football hats I got? I got 1 or 2. 1 or 2 Washington football hats. No, I got like 2. I got like 2 Washington football hats. So I just stack up on gear to the point where, and yeah, if I want to step out in a Skins jacket or something like that, I may do that. I may pull up and do that one day. I got this Washington Bomber jacket as well, which is pretty cool, pretty fly. I love this. Is one of my favorite stuff too. That might be my favorite one out of all of them. It's tough. But that little Skins jacket, I love that. That's like, I love that thing. I wore it like almost every day. And in the fall and in the springtime, that was my go-to for sure. Obi Tats Said Throwbacks Claus says we thought Adrian Peterson was done when he came back. That's a good point. That's a good point. That could happen with Austin Eckler. That could happen with Austin Eckler. But there were times where we bought in Willie Parker and bought in Larry Johnson. But Austin Eckler, I think he has some left in the tank. There's the clip of him running like he had a backpack on. But I think Austin Eckler, for the role that he's coming in and being, he's not going to be a first down back. He's not a second down back. He's a third down back / wide receiver. So we're not asking him to give us 13, 15 carries. He's probably going to get like what? I can pull up J.D. McKissic's numbers and I can compare it to that. He probably will he might get a little bit more carries than what J.D. got or Chris Thompson got. But J.D. McKissic, the year he had 80 catches, which was insane from Alex Smith. I could see Eckler doing something like that. I could see him getting like 60, 70 catches, 70 receptions. I can see that, like 700 yards receiving. I can see something like that, 600 yards receiving. I can see something like that clearly happening. I can see B-Rob, if he stays healthy, get 1,000 yards on the ground. I thought he could have got 1,000 yards on the ground his rookie year, but he, unfortunately he got shot. And then last year, he missed a little bit of time too. He didn't play like the last couple of games of the year. I thought he was on pace to get 1,000 yards. So I love our running back room. I didn't think we needed to really add too much to it. And Eckler is perfect for it, whether it's a 1-year thing or a 2-year thing with Eckler. And I like the guy out of Arizona, Michael Wiley. I like him a lot too. Austin Jones from USC, undrafted guys. I like those guys too. I think they can come in and contribute. It may take some time, but I like those guys. I like both of them. Both the undrafted. I like both of the UDFA running backs. I like both of them. Shout out to my guy Meese, man. What up, Ed? He's just been a minute. I'm sorry to be toxic for at least a little bit after 30 years of BS Trust and AP. Shout out to Meese. I think Meese back in the day, he delivered a pizza to Bradley Bill, if I'm not mistaken. And Bradley Bill looked really bad in the Suns game the other day, and they are eliminated. But Meese also says, hoping we sign Stephon Gilmore. Forbes is not it. Tressway, too nice to not give it up. Mariota better give up the number 0 too. Yeah, he's the first quarterback to be number 0, which is pretty funny as well. Mariota has great hair. Meese also says, I was ready to start calling them a new name, but after Harris said they will get another name eventually, I'm sticking with the Redskins, to be honest. Let's see here. Where should I start with this one? Yeah, ready to be toxic, man. I am too. I'm ready to be toxic too. I'm ready to be belligerent and cocky and brag on my team. We already do that anyway. Excuse me, even when we lose. But yeah, it will be lit to brag about this team being a perennial playoff team with a legitimate head coach, a legitimate quarterback, a quarterback that we can finally brag about and be confident about. It's been a while for that, and consistency from the quarterback position, just electric feeling or electric play from a quarterback, and a quarterback that can make big plays, change a game, and just change the game, really. I mean, and Jayden Daniels is capable of doing that. He's capable of doing that. So I really feel like our time is coming. It's felt that way for a long time, so I'm not going to get too excited. Cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic. Obi-Tat said they felt the need to bring in a veteran quarterback and a veteran tight end to groom the guys they plan on drafting. Why wouldn't they bring in a vet to help bring along the guy they drafted at tackle? I'm with you on that. I really am. I'm with you on that. I think they need to be assertive and aggressive at the left tackle spot. I think there's a couple guys that they can bring in. Excuse me. Now, they're not world beaters. If we bring in DJ Humphries, it's not like, oh, man, he's going to be a Stonewall or Stoneworth, an all-pro left tackle. I understand that. Tyron Smith is off the board. He's been gone. David Bakhtiari, can you trust him to stay healthy? So it's not a perfect world out there at the left tackle position. It's just not. But there are some guys that you can certainly bring in. There's some guys you can certainly bring in at the left tackle position that probably would be an upgrade from what we have right now. Donovan Smith had a down year last year, didn't have a great year. So it's not, like I said, I'm not banging on the table for Donovan Smith, but would it be an upgrade from what we have? Probably would be. Chief in session said, yo, Ed, what's up, man? I'll probably wrap it up in like 2 minutes, guys. He said, yo, Ed, what's up? It's weed_stars. And me said, so it's ironic that weed_stars comes in, and then me says, he said, you still remember that the house stank of weed? He's talking about Bradley Bill's house. He said, weed, like Stephen A. Smith, weed, stay off the weed. But Chief in Session comes in and said, what's up, bro? Thanks for the great content, brother. Shout out to Chief in Session. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing and all the good stuff and checking in for sure. He says, I finally caught it live. You excited about the year, bro? I'm hyped. Yeah, man, I'm gonna do more live streams, guys. I'm more available to do more live streams and go on other people's channels. There's somebody else that actually hit me up to go on a live. I'm gonna definitely be on a live. I'm gonna be on a live soon with like Louis T and Rio and Street Scores pretty soon. Somebody else hit me up. I gotta respond to them. I just remember that I gotta respond. Somebody else. I'm gonna be on their show pretty soon. I gotta respond. But I'm gonna be doing more lives for sure. And I'm gonna try to announce the lives earlier because what I've been doing is putting the lives out and putting them up like 5 minutes before I start. So, but yeah, I want to thank you guys for checking us out. Hold on. And legendary one said, how can you say a rookie not that he had good moments? He's chippy and instinctive. He has a lot of potential. He has a lot of potential. It's just as fans, we saw what happened with Sam Howell last year. We just want more of a sure thing. And as you're not gonna get that from a rookie, but you just want more of a sure thing. You want to see your rookie quarterback have legitimate offensive tackle there. That's all I'm saying. Brandon Coleman, he could come in and light the world on fire. The odds are less likely for that to happen, but I'm not gonna write Brandon Coleman off. So you do have some validity to what you're saying, legendary. And I like the profile picture with Michael Jordan. I do think he's the best basketball player to ever touch the court ever in NBA. But yeah, Brandon Coleman. I mean, like I said, a guy who is debating whether he's a guard or a tackle to just come in and thinking he's going to light the world on fire is being very optimistic. That's all I'm saying. So to be objective from a roster construction point, Cornelius Lucas, who's a backup swing tackle, and Brandon Coleman being your day one, either one of those guys going to be your day one starter at left tackle for a rookie quarterback is concerning. And that's all I'm saying. It's just it's questionable. When Adam Peters came from a place with the Niners where they traded for guess who, Trent Williams. So that's all I'm saying. And it may not be fixed this year. Maybe next year is the year where Brandon Coleman could be the guy. And if they see the developmental time is going to take a long time. The last guy they drafted in the third round was Jerron Christian at left tackle. So for all we know, he could be Jerron Christian. For all we know, he could be an elite left tackle. So we just don't know yet. And we drafted Jayden Daniels last year in the fourth round. But it's a different regime. It's a new coaching staff. It's a new GM, all that, new scouting department, all that. So, so I'll wrap it up on that. I know there's a lot of back and forth with each point, but you guys get what I'm getting at. It's questionable. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys. Thank you guys again for tuning in and subscribing, all that good stuff. And I'm going to try to do it live at least once a week for the Commanders. Like I said, I'm going to get my channel member guys back on DC Bay, Ward Pass. Shout out to my guy, Kenny. Shout out to Oscar, Josue Montel. Shout out to my guy, Brandon, who's doing Locked On Wizards. Make sure you guys subscribe to Locked On Wizards and check out my guy, Brandon. Doing an awesome job over there. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hell, Commanders. Peace.